Hey guys, hi, this is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. Hey, today we're going to talk about my favorite subject, which is sales. All right, we got a great subject for you today, so let's go ahead and get started. What is our subject for today? Our subject for today is, and it's a little bit different, are buyers liars? Have you ever heard that before? Yeah, I have. I've had people say to me, especially salespeople, those people, they lie about canceling their service. They had a reason, I don't know why, but, they say, the old saying is, the buyers are liars. I don't like that. I don't think it's very appropriate, and I don't think that customers would appreciate if us calling them liars, because in reality, I don't know about you, but I've made a lot of excuses, or should I have say, I've lied before, and in reality, if you are a salesperson, you kind of don't want to lose your soul for a few dollars. And if you do, well, have a nice life. In this forum, we try to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything that's involved in selling. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. So I want to bring things out that most people don't actually talk about. A lot of times people talk about the good stuff, but they never talk about the things that are a little weird or a little off, the good, the bad. So that's what we're talking about. Our subject is, are buyers liars? That's a pretty good subject. And the reason why I stress that is, I've dealt with customers since the 80s in one form or capacity or another. And a lot of times people do not like to hurt people's feelings, get people frustrated, or get them upset. So what they'll do is they do this thing called a white lie. What they'll say is, well, I can't do this because my neighbor down the street said it wasn't good. Who cares? Or maybe they'll say my significant other won't let me. Or they'll say, well, I got to do this, I got to do that. And what it really is they may not trust you, or they may not have available in their budget to be able to buy what you're selling. And I'm not going to say that I've never had people lie to me, because buyers, I guess, sometimes can be liars, and then so can everybody else. So, we have to deal with these scenarios. So what do you do when you deal with a customer who lies to you? It's a numbers game, guys. Just remember that. So what we have to do is let people be people. You're going to have orders that'll be canceled. You'll have sales that'll be canceled. You'll have situations where they're lying through their teeth, but they're trying to save face. Maybe they inside instinctively, ever since we was kids, people said, don't trust them salespeople. They lie and don't sign no contracts. And the reason being is because in the past, salespeople, they weren't really good. They were very, I don't know, they probably didn't tell the whole truth, and a lot of times that makes people find out the hard way. And I don't want to find out the hard way that something's not right, and neither do you. Customers, they have a right to have their feelings. And listen, if somebody stops and cancels a sale, or that they're lying, you got to give them a little bit of leeway. Seriously, guys, because see, people are important and we matter. And if we disrespect a customer just because at this point they may not want to buy what we're trying to offer, doesn't mean that down the road they may be inclined to buy from us. So how we leave our customers is very, very important. You don't want to leave them with an attitude, because I've seen some salespeople, they talk under their breath, they didn't buy from me, they're lying, blah, blah. And I'm thinking to myself, damn, you don't know if they heard you. You don't know if these people got other people. And you have to be real careful when you're talking about customers. I'm serious, because you never know who is listening. And I don't care if you're by yourself. You got to be very careful and remember that customers are human. We are all full of sin. We all make mistakes. We all do things that aren't right. And if you're one of them kind of people that's self-righteous and you don't never do nothing wrong, well, God forbid, good luck. It ain't right. So my name is Gary Lee Stanley. Listen, we got to talk about stuff like this because we're sensitive people. Now, some of you may not be sensitive because you haven't gotten to that point yet. But I've learned over my life that, there's some people, they'll just tell you no, 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 and they don't even know what you're trying to sell, or you go to the door, no, I'm not interested, but they don't know. And what do you do when you're in situations where you have people that kind of push you off? And Listen, remember, it may not be the person that you're talking to right now that you're going to sell to, but it could be the next one. So we have to, empty that negativity out, and we have to go ahead and embrace positive stuff and positive messages. It's important. We're salespeople. Again, guys, it is so important that you remember that it's a numbers game. Buyers are liars. I don't like the way that sounds. And if you say it, you might want to revisit that and look at your own self. Do you lie sometimes? Do you sometimes stretch the truth? Do you sometimes, say things that aren't right? Well, so do customers. They're human. Oh my gosh. And we know as being humans, we have a sin nature. And if you don't believe that, well, yeah, you do. Everybody says they all lie in one form of capacity, and not necessarily to hurt someone, but to get out of a situation, because they're like, they're like the deer in the headlights. They got caught. And see, what do they have to do? They have to back out without trying to hurt you, and they do it in a way that makes them feel better, because I don't want to say this, they don't want to be pressured into buying. And if they feel pressured, sometimes they're going to go ahead and they're going to lie to you, because buyers, I guess they can sometimes be liars. And in reality, nobody is perfect. But remember, you can take it personally. It can hurt you if you would let it. But listen, it's not you. It may be that they're not interested or in what you're trying to sell. It's not you personally. So don't take it personally when a customer lies to you. And if you catch them in a lie, don't embarrass them. Because, see, that's one thing we never want to do with our customers, is make them feel less than. And everybody is a customer. So just remember, when a customer may bend the truth or may tell you they're not interested, or maybe it might be an underlying reason. It could be the money. Okay? It could be that they've got somebody standing over them in their back of their ear saying, that's not a good idea. Don't do it. Don't do it. What do you mean you sign that? Look, we got to deal with different types of personalities. Some people you got to get right to the point. Some you got to go ahead and sit down and talk about things, but you got to keep them on track. But you got to remember that if a customer being a liar or a buyer, you get the choice to treat them the way you think they should be treated. I was brought up right. My mom always said, treat everybody with kindness, because you never know who those people can be one day. You never know. They could be your boss one day. They could be your supervisor. They could be your next significant other. But if you treat people with disrespect and you go and call them liars, that ain't right. We shouldn't do that. What we should do is just say, hey, look, they just weren't interested at this time. And again, the way you leave the customer is so important. They may never buy from you, but if you do something negative, they'll tell everybody, oh, I would never trust those people. They're mean. They're disrespectful. They called me what? So listen. We're salespeople, so we got to figure out the best way to deal with reality. We're salespeople, and we're going to have those days when we get knocked on our butts. There's going to be things that are going to happen to us that we're not going to be very happy about. My name is Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy, and I told you I would tell you things that most salespeople and motivational speakers want: the good, the bad, the ugly, and the rotten stuff. Yeah, sometimes buyers can be liars. It's the truth. But again, you remember, a lot of times it's because they're trying to get out of a situation and they're embarrassed. They don't want to tell you the underlying reason why they're not interested in buying today. And if you push them, they'll be like a snake, and they'll be mean, and they'll bite you. And you don't want to have that. If customers disrespect you and lie to you, just remember, they're human, and so are we. So we try not to lie, but you know what the key to success in selling is try to always be honest and above board. You don't want to lose your soul for a couple of dollars, and you don't want them to say, salesmen, they lie, because sometimes people do. And I'm not going to say in my whole life as a salesperson I'm not stretched the truth or didn't tell the honest truth, because I'm a real human. Until God got a hold of me, it was like, I looked at everybody as a dollar bill. And you know what? They're not. They're human. They want to buy stuff. They just don't want to be sold stuff. And buyers, yes, sometimes they can be liars, but so can we. So we got to be real careful how we treat our brothers and sisters in this world. They're important, they're customers, and they matter. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. We just had a simple conversation about buyers and liars. Are they buyers? Are they liars? In reality, yeah, maybe sometimes. But most of the times, people, they're very good people, and they're just trying to figure out a way to not be pressured into buying. So do me a favor, go out there and sell something. And if you run into somebody who's a buyer who lies to you and their buyers are liars, give them a break, man. Just go to the next customer, because there's so many people out there that want to buy from you and own the products that you got to sell. So go out there and sell something. But if you ain't asking for the order, you ain't selling. So go out there and have a great day. Buyers or liars? I don't know. I don't think so.